Hey, it's another episode of Bill and Tony's Excellent Adventure. We're about to start with a great show here today. That's Bill Althouse, the Missouri Sports Hall of Famer. And here's the wannabe. I'm Tony Stevens, and our producer, Tony Jr. We're live from Sandy's Restaurant Studios. You can watch our full podcast episodes. They're on YouTube, they're on Spotify, they're on Patreon. You can hook up with us on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. We'd really appreciate it if you would like and subscribe. Leave comments, because those are always fun to read, especially the ones that talk about you. And especially share. That we would like all of that, too.
Oh, today, I got some from Share?
Yeah, get out of here. We have a special guest today that you do know quite well. He will be the next Royals Hall of Famer, and that will be John Wathan.
Yo.
He's going to join us.
I've written so many articles saying that John needed to be in there because I'm the only guy that's still around that even remembers John Wathan. And
I remember him. Don't be careful.
No, I mean in the media. All
I know
right. You remember him. I know this guy back here remembers him, Mark. Yeah, we're going to have so much fun with Duke. That's going to be great.
Very well deserved.
Yes.
All right, so let's get into it. Sports hot topics of the week. Let's start with March Madness. Are you one of the bracket guys? You get into that?
I don't.
Sorry, I brought the whole thing up.
Well, no, I follow it, and I tell you what, I think this is one of those years that you could put 6 or 8 teams in there, draw a name out of a hat, and they have as good a chance as anyone.
Now that there are no more. God, there's barely any 2-year players anymore. It's mostly one and dones like KU, with Peterson. But I don't know, Michigan, Duke, Arizona, Houston, any of those teams. I tell you, what a blunder! Did you see the LED court that they used?
Whoever thought that up should be put in jail.
I mean, I just don't understand why you would think playing on a giant iPad would be a good idea.
A kid, I think from Houston.
Texas Tech.
Texas Tech, yeah.
Well, and they were all slipping and sliding. So the Big 12 commissioner actually asked the coaches and all the players, and they all said, "Can we please get rid of this?"
Yes.
And
one and done.
They dismantled it. Yeah. You don't need to put the scoreboard on the floor.
Oh, no.
So that's over with. A little bit of NFL news. Boy, are you shocked about this? They're considering adding a game on Thanksgiving Eve. So that means they would have a game on Wednesday night. And they're talking about doing it this year. That's what they're calling their extended holiday special.
It should be called we're getting all the money from you we can.
It basically would mean that the only day of the week that they won't play during a regular season would be Tuesday. Because, there's Sunday. They play Monday night games.
Right.
They want to add this Wednesday game that we play on Thursdays.
They've had Friday.
Remember, they did the Black Friday game.
Yes.
Saturdays in December. So
I know. It's crazy.
And now, I think, if I'm not mistaken, isn't there an international game every week this season?
Every week?
I think so. Wow. I mean, they'll be the first team to play on the frickin' moon. I mean, they can't get enough. Let's move on to the World Baseball Classic. Please tell me you've been watching
I have been.
Oh, it's just great. I mean,
what about Vinny?
It's just. I mean, I love Team
I know
USA,
but Italy, come on, baby.
Oh, yeah, man. That was the one game when they beat the United States, and they had, Vinny and Jack Caglione and Michael Lorenzen, who had pitched with the Royals the last, 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really good. I mean, by the time this airs, it'll all be over. But, I think Vinny finally made a name for himself nationally and now internationally.
Yes.
Everybody knows Bobby, and he's had a great WBC. The defensive plays that guy's made is
2 in 1 game, and I remember they switched real quick to the dugout.
Yeah.
And the guys are in there like, what? What did we just witness?
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And I'm sure J.J. Piccolo's holding his breath every time he sees Bobby do that.
know that.
Stuff. All right, let's get to it. Mavs, they still don't lose, right?
No, they went to Tahoe, lost the first game, and then won back-to-back games, including a 5-0 win. And it was Dylan Wells, the number 3 guy, was in the net. I mean, they've got so much depth, so much talent, and maybe the 3, certainly the best combo or trio of goalies, but Dylan Wells is great. Logan Turness, the rookie from Ohio State's awesome, and then Jack LaFontaine's best goalie in the league.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. I know last night Ewan Jr. went to the Comets. Sorry about that, man. Boy, what a heartbreaker. And it seems like most of their losses in the last month or so have been heartbreakers.
Yeah,
like
they
that.
you know, I was talking to their coach, Stefan Stokic, after the game.
Yeah.
Tony and I are looking at each other during this crazy penalty on Chad Vandegrift. A guy, Chad, I think at that point had 4 blocks in the game. He's right in front of the net. A guy comes up behind him, puts his arms around him, and Chad tries to get out of it, and the guy does the pratfall.
The flop.
Flops, goes on the ground. He is given a red card. He has to miss the next game today
What?
against San Diego. They play back-to-back games. Today, the team owner, Brian Budzinski, sent a letter to the league demanding that the official that called that be fired at the end of the season. Tony, how long did it take? 15 minutes to figure this out. It was,
come on.
and then, Chad's ejected from the game. There goes your best defender.
Yeah.
Now,
Ever.
Nacho Flores came in and was amazing.
Yeah.
He made some great stops. And, as it's happened so many times, the Comets had a 5-4 lead with 1:12 to go, and they tie it up, and then we lose in overtime. And it was brutal because 3 weeks ago, Comets are in first place.
Yeah.
Now they're battling to make the
get that
playoffs.
last
So they
spot.
really need a win Sunday when we're taping this segment in San Diego to maintain that quest for the playoffs.
More soccer. Sporting KC. How about those guys? They won. Their last game, 2-1. I mean, they started off just looking like
I know
they didn't belong in the league, but yeah, good for them.
Well, we were talking about them last week. I mean, you talk about a team that everything's new.
Everything.
Front office, the owner, the players.
Coach.
Yeah. Oh, everything. So
and, so
we'll see how they
won.
do. Yeah.
The women's team, the KC Current, they opened up over the weekend and they won.
Yes.
2-1. They beat the Utah Royals. So, you kind of wonder, you get the point why World Cup's coming here. Soccer's a big deal.
Oh, it's huge.
It's a big deal.
It is huge.
And the Royals, without Vinny and all those guys down in spring training, they're not winning, but that doesn't make any damn difference. It really doesn't. Music and entertainment news this week brought to you by our friends at Vito's here in Blue Springs, Missouri. If you're in the Kansas City area, you know where Blue Springs 7 Highway is, and you know Vito's. Their pizza and their food is just amazing.
I eat in there and I feel like I've won the lottery.
Well, go twice a day and win me one.
I will. I'll do that.
All right, so let's talk a little bit of country music here. Morgan Wallen, I don't think this guy gets the recognition that he deserves, except for stupid shit.
Well, and there's a little reason for that.
Yeah, I know it.
Do you think he's cleaned his act up? Because he sure, when you hear him talk, it seems like he has, and I hope so.
40 straight weeks at number 1 with "I'm the Problem" album.
That's insane.
He has now spent a total of 226 weeks at number 1. That's 50 more than Garth Brooks and 100 more than Alabama. Wow, the guy is just on fire. You like Clint Black?
Yeah, I haven't thought of, I liked his wife.
I didn't ask that.
Oh, okay.
Clint's a great guy,
Yeah.
and he's getting a new exhibit in the Country Music Hall of Fame in museum in Nashville. A lot of people go to Nashville, and they always make a stop there, and so they're having a big deal there, and it'll begin in April and go through August. First time I met Clint, he played the Inglewood Theater
Are you kidding?
Independence.
That's out of my neck of the woods.
That was in 1989.
Okay.
And he was playing out of a school bus. He had a school bus and a trailer, and had one single out that time called "A Better Man." And I remember getting off the air, and a few friends from KF went down there, and there was 2 sold-out shows. That place would it seat about 700, 750, something like
around
that. I said, man, I think you got something here. And you're playing out of a school bus. Can you believe that?
Well, hey, now, have you ever heard about Garth Brooks playing at Santa Caligon?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I wasn't there. I mean, it was before he was big time.
Well, and before that, he played at Guitars and Cadillacs in Westport.
Did he really?
Yeah, because I was with him with my friend Kathy Page at dinner at Californo's that night.
Oh, my gosh.
You know, nobody knew who he was.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
it was crazy. All right, let me ask you this. You're a Journey fan, right? You like Journey?
I love Journey. The original Journey.
Yeah. Neil Schon, the guitar player, it's basically his band.
Right.
I don't know, man. He seems to find a way to piss off everybody in that band because one sues the other. He has sued two of the others that he kicked out. And it's always back and forth, and they wonder why Steve Perry never wanted to go back.
Yeah.
And there's always been a lot of just bickering in that band. And now he's going to start something called Journey Beyond because, right now they're doing their farewell tour. Mm-hmm. Well, these guys remind me of Kiss. It's just never going to go away.
Yeah.
It's never going to go away. He's actually filed for patents and everything. So Journey and Journey Beyond. And I mean, you know what's going to be next? It's going to have, action figures and bobbleheads.
Oh, yeah.
And all kinds of stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it's crazy. I mean, it does. It just kind of reminds me of Kiss. It's all about the brand instead of the music. But whatever. Journey Beyond is what's coming next. You a Kanye West fan?
No.
Okay, sorry I brought that up. He's
just weird. I guess he's a genius. My son says he's the greatest musician of his
mine
lifetime.
is shaking his head yes too.
Okay.
Well, it's got nothing to do with music.
Yeah.
Which usually when it seems like lately it's got nothing to do with music. He had a judgment of $140,000 placed on him just a couple of days ago because he didn't pay a handyman who was doing a lot of work at his Malibu mansion. Kanye agreed to pay this dude $20,000 a week, but ultimately only paid him $20,000, and the guy worked for like 10 weeks.
Oh, wow.
And then he said he had another $100,000 of construction costs, didn't pay that, and then he beat him up at the place and then fired him. So that'll usually get you in trouble.
I think so.
Yeah, so. Okay, so by the time we finish this, the Oscars would have been done. Do you watch that show?
Nope.
Oh, hell no.
I haven't watched. I remember in '69, my folks let me stay up late because John Wayne was up for an Oscar for True Grit, and when he won, I'm dancing around the house, and I haven't seen one movie that is up for nomination this year, and I don't, Just give me Jack Reacher, and I'm happy as a lark.
It doesn't really matter if you win these because they give them a swag bag every year.
Yeah.
It must be a swag suitcase. $350,000 worth of stuff is what each nominee gets. Mm-hmm. Here's some of the interesting things that are in this year's swag bag. A free vacation at a wellness resort in Sri Lanka. It's where I want to go for a freaking resort is Sri Lanka. Would you accept their body sculpting liposuction experience?
I need it, but I don't think I'd accept it.
Well, you can get one there. Oh, here's one for you, too, that you would definitely use. A celebrity divorce attorney for a prenup. Just think of this stupid stuff.
Well, Stacy and I settled that 43 years ago.
Yeah,
and so we're fine.
I know you like candy and stuff like that, so they do include chocolate pretzels topped with edible gold crystals and luxury cannabis gift sets.
There you go.
Doesn't matter if you win, right? Do you go to the movies?
I don't. I can't remember the last. And I used to live at the movies. A new movie came out, boom, I was there. Especially the old Avenger series, Captain America and Iron Man and all that. I love that. I honestly can't remember.
Yeah, me neither. I know.
You know what it was? What? We took a group of kids to go see How to Train Your Dragon, and it was fantastic.
Yeah,
it was great.
Well, when we were kids, we used to go over Northeast. They had the old Vista Theater and the National Theater. We'd go see King Kong versus Godzilla and Mothra.
Well, we'd go to the Inglewood Theater.
Yeah,
right there in Inglewood, and any Walt Disney movie that ever came out, we saw that.
Well, apparently, we're not in the minority.
Oh, really?
Since over the last 10-year period, the number of people that have gone to movies or bought tickets has declined by 500,000. I mean, 500 million. Excuse me, half a billion. So it's like, I don't know. I mean, most of the movies, or a majority of the movies, are all sequels or part 2 or part 3.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
I mean, how many damn Planet of the Apes can there be?
I know.
I mean, we saw a guy that could have been in one of them walking at Sandy's just a little while ago. But I don't know. Maybe this will help. Would you go see the next Lord of the Rings movie, or did you see any of those?
Oh, yeah, I saw all those. Those were just to watch the cinematography. I mean, Peter Jackson did an amazing job with that.
Kate Winslet is in talks to star in the next Lord of the Rings, so that should come out Christmas next year. I mean, I never saw any of those. Lord of the Ringworm. That's I don't watch any of this.
They're pretty good.
TV news. Were you a Malcolm in the Middle fan?
Oh yes,
That's good. That was a good show. The original cast is coming back, and they're going to redo it. It's going to be on Hulu. In fact, I think the trailer's out.
Really?
Yep, the original cast, and it'll come out. Actually, the new series will start April 10th. It's crazy how Bryan Cranston, who ended up really making his bones as in
Walter
Breaking
White.
Bad, Walter White was in that show. I mean,
If he comes out wearing a black derby on his head, then I'm going to think, okay, this could be an interesting.
no, it's the entire
Really?
original cast.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's cool. I like
think I
that.
would
Was a
check
good
that
show. Yeah,
I think I would check that out. Well, we had an appearance last week on our show from Peter Griffin from Family Guy. He had pointed out that Stephen Hawking, oh, look, there he is. But Fox is greenlighting a spinoff of Family Guy on Stewie.
Oh,
Yeah.
Stewie was always my favorite character.
So-
Stewie and the dog.
That's coming up. Seth MacFarlane, of course,
Yeah.
he'll do the voices and everything, and that's going to premiere on Fox's season 27 and 27 and 28. So that'll be next year. I mean, that guy everything that guy does.
Turns to gold.
We do a lot of segments about license plates. We've had.
Do we ever?
So the hot new license plate now in 9 states is black. The black. Have you heard of the blackout? The blackout plates?
No.
You see that?
No.
Blackout plates. So now they have them in Kansas, and they've done like 30,000 of them in the last month. I don't know what the fascination with blackout plates is, but $50 plus another fee and another fee and 3 or 4 other fees that go to fund the division of vehicles. That's bullshit. They go to fund the division of prisons because that's who's making those, right?
I would guess.
So blackout. So we got some weird news of the week stories. What do you got?
Have you ever left anything at an airport? Just
Yeah,
lost.
Well, man, and it doesn't take long for. I guess they clean the planes up so quickly.
So quickly, yeah.
I left one of the early cell phones, and I just went to spring training. I swear I wasn't gone 10 minutes off that plane.
Yeah.
And it was nowhere to be found.
Yeah.
So
Well, it may be in this giant lost and found bag that they keep track of everything that is lost and found on planes.
there's got to be a lot of crazy stuff.
a working robot.
What?
Now, I'm sure what this is. I have a radio show, and I deal with a lot of high schools, and there are robotic teams that make high school robotics, and they go out and compete. And they say it's about 3 feet tall. They got it working, and I'm sure that you go all over the world to compete in these things. I can't believe you would leave your robot on a plane, but somebody did. A leg. A prosthetic leg. How do you wait? Something's going wrong here. It's like, oh yeah, where's my
Guess
leg?
they took a nap, unscrewed it, so they can have
Who
a little
knows?
more room.
Who knows,
I
man?
don't know how you hopped off a plane without
I know it.
I mean, I don't know. When I went to go look for that cell phone, I swear there was a toilet seat in there, a headstone, and a coin purse made by an actual frog. I'm serious. I mean, they have all this shit, but they don't have my
Your cell-
suitcase
yeah.
or my cell phone
Yeah.
with that. So, all right, one more funny story. Weird news of the week. And this is a true story. A woman accused of illegally practicing dentistry. And you know, I've actually heard this from a cousin once. I said, well, "What's going on?" Well, you know, he had a bad tooth infection. I go, "Well, who's he going to?" "Well, he's going to, you know, Dr. So-and-so. So what's the problem?" "Well, he hasn't had a license in 30 years. So he sees people on the side." I'm like, "Really? Well, why is he doing that?" "Well, he can't afford to, you know." So anyway, this was a lady charged with practicing dentistry without a license, same kind of deal, and this was in Miami-Dade County in Florida. The cops went in there because they started getting complaints. So the undercover detectives actually made an appointment with this lady for a tooth extraction. So they went in there and they found her with a needle-nose pliers in her hand and a sign on the door that says, "Dr. I'm a-pulling him." And they arrested her ass right on the spot. You think I'm lying? So
I do think you're lying, but it's a good lie.
I'll never tell you.
Yeah.
Time for a special guest.
Oh, buddy, I can't wait.
He's the next Royals Hall of Famer. He had a almost 50-year career
Yes.
with the Royals. You covered
Every
him for,
phase, you name it, from player to broadcaster, front office, roving minor league instructor, coach, manager. Duke did it all.
Duke would be the one and only John Wathan.
Yo.
We have royalty with us today. We've never on this show ever had royalty, and we actually have Hall of Fame royalty. If you're a Royals fan, well, I'm going to introduce him anyway. He's the newest member of, and will be the newest member of the Royals Hall of Fame, Mr. John Wathan. Man, this is awesome.
Thanks, Tony.
You being here with us.
I appreciate you having me. Thank you very
Thank
much.
You bet.
I tell you what, John, we go back a long, long time.
70s, yeah.
Yeah, 76. I'm the weekend sports anchor
Yeah.
at KQTV and Channel 2. I come down
St.
to
Joe, right?
St. Joe.
Yeah,
I come
yeah.
down, do a little interview with you. Came back the next weekend, and you go, "Hey, Bill, how's St. Joe?" And I'm like, "Oh my God, John Wathan knows me. That's the coolest
He's told this
thing."
story too, John. That's the truth. He's told us many times that he was starstruck by John Wathan.
Well, I mean, I walked into that locker room, and all my ball cards had come to life. And I'm a young kid, and oh my God, 76 to 85. Best decade of my life.
Let me show you. See
Well,
my
yeah.
notes right there.
Yeah,
I'm telling
that
you,
was
John,
a great time for me and a great time for Kansas City. Obviously, to go to postseason play 7 out of 10 years is pretty rare. And so that probably was the best 10-year period in Royals history, without a doubt.
We were it. I mean, I remember, God, and I hate to bring up there weren't no bad times, but the heartbreaking times. I still know where I was in '76.
I do too.
When Chambliss hit that damn home run.
I do too.
In '77, and then was it the '78 team that won 102? You guys won 102 ball games.
Probably one of our best teams.
Oh my!
Yeah.
That in
goodness.
1980. We had 7 guys that hit over 300. We had
It's just
280 as a team in 1980. But
Unreal.
We won 102 games, which was even better.
It's just
in
crazy.
78, yes.
Guys were so good, but so in '80 you finally get over that hump. And so, what was it like to know? God, we should have been here. This should have been our 4th World Series. I mean, but
That's a great question because I tell that story all the time. I was playing right field when we got the final out. Willie Randolph was at the plate. I believe it was Willie Randolph, and Quisenberry was the pitcher.
Yeah.
And I'm playing right field when he struck him out to end the game after George's, mammoth 3-run
that
homer
3 off Gossage
to sweep the series,
Yeah.
3 games out of 5. I was crying in right field, and I was running in all the way into the clubhouse and had tears in my eyes. So whatever Tom Hanks says is wrong. There is crying in baseball.
Man, I know. You know what? There's 2 of us.
we get into the clubhouse, and our wives are back in the tunnel leading from the dugout in Yankee Stadium back to the clubhouse. And, of course, we hugged and kissed them, and
Yeah.
everybody's crying and so excited. had we not lost in 76, 77, and 78, it wouldn't have been quite the same. But that was like our World Series, which I think maybe hurt us a little bit, get going to the series against the Phillies. We kind of shot our wad with that, winning, finally beating the Yankees, and we had 3 or 4 days off in New York. I still say, had we come home and saw the excitement of Kansas City after sweeping the Yankees before going back to Philadelphia, I think we would have been more pumped going into the World Series. But we didn't. We stayed in New York and had a couple workouts in Yankee Stadium, and then went out to the airport in New York and watched the end of the Houston-Philadelphia game, not knowing whether we were going to Houston or Philadelphia. And as it turned out, it was just a short flight to Philadelphia. So I always wondered what happened to all those meals we had on our charter when we were going to Houston.
And then '84 was that weird season with where they had the split season, wasn't it? I mean,
81.
80, was it 81?
It was 81.
Okay. For some reason I thought it was 84.
Yeah.
And then, of course, 85 comes along, and, it's legendary. It's just
that
amazing.
wasn't one of our best teams. I think it was meant to be. It's funny how that happens a lot of times in baseball and other sports. Teams win that maybe weren't supposed to.
Yeah.
Everything clicks. The stars are aligned just right. This happens, that happens. It's kind of like in golf, This putt for 72 feet goes in.
Yeah.
You win the championship or whatever. It's weird. That was just that kind of a year.
Well, if any team deserved it after all those years, you guys certainly. I always say we, because I still remember April of '69 in Lupinella, and I've been there. It is.
It's 1969.
So there we go. I mean, it's and what you guys just were, like, say, first or second place every year. It was just amazing.
Yeah. And, some of those years you remember in the 70s, Bill will remember for sure, we only won like 87 games.
Yeah.
And they called us the American League Worst instead of the American League West.
That. Yeah.
But, hey, we won our division. There's only 2 divisions, and we won it. So
that's right.
It's just kind of like today, with the wild card. We would have had some other times with the wild card to where we would have got in probably.
Yeah.
Other times when we did get in.
Yeah.
You know what I remember about 1985? Just the beauty of the game being played in St. Louis. And Bill Sobey, the old bullpen catcher, good friend of both of ours.
Who's with the Kansas City Monarchs now.
Yeah.
He and I drove, and everything's blue till you get to Columbia. From Columbia to St. Louis, everything was red. And I remember when the team was down 3-1, and Hal McRae's got a plate of food in his lap. He's sitting in front of his locker, and he used to always call me Althauser. He goes, Althauser. We've got these sons of bitches right where we want them, because you were down 3-1 against Toronto and came back.
Yeah.
What was it like knowing that you had to win 3 games in a row, and by God, you did it?
I got a story for that, too.
Let's hear it.
So a lot of people listening probably don't realize the year before we lost to Detroit in '84, 3 straight. It was the best 3 out of 5. '85 was the first year it went to 4 out of 7. So we wouldn't have we wouldn't have lost the playoffs to Toronto because we were down 3 games to 1. And we wouldn't have even got to St. Louis to have that opportunity to come back again down 3 games to 1. There was a writer or announcer who I interviewed with in Toronto when they were up 3 games to 1 and asked me about our chances. How do we feel? I said, it's nothing. A 3-game win streak is nothing during the season. Why can't it be the same here?
Good for you.
And it happened exactly that way. So it was, that was very special. As I said, everything had to fit just right to make it work, and it did, both against Toronto and St. Louis.
You were talking about 47 years with the organization. You did it all. You were the catcher. You played first base. You played outfield, like you mentioned, coach, and then you managed the team, which was really. And you had some pretty good teams.
We did. We won 92 games in 1989, I believe.
Yeah.
And that would have been obviously a wild card season for us. With just the 2 divisions, Oakland beat us by, I think, 7 games. We were in second place, 7 games out. with 92 wins. So, we had some good years. We had some good clubs, and unfortunately, it didn't work out for me, which is pretty normal for a manager in baseball. But you know what? I always looked at it as I got an opportunity to do something else that I really enjoyed. I went to Anaheim, and Dusty, my oldest, who's with the Phillies now, coaching third. He was out there at Orange Coast College playing for Mike Maine's dad, who used to play for us, Brent Maine.
Brent Maine. Yeah,
and so he got to be around, worked in the clubhouse there. I go to Boston for a year, and Derek is back there in the Cape Cod League in the summer back there, so I get to see him a lot then. And then I got to coach, after I got fired, I got to coach 1 year of Derek, his last year in American Legion ball before he went to college at OU, and Dusty his last year. There was always some interim times there between firings, which I'm probably the only guy that's ever been fired 3 times by the Royals as a player, manager, and a broadcaster. And so I finally retired before they fired me again for the 4th time.
I'll tell you what, that's
I don't think that's ever happened.
That's doggone funny right there. I don't care who you are.
And another record I believe I have. This has nothing to do with baseball.
Yeah.
But Dusty and Derek, both my sons, ended up playing in Omaha, and Dusty got a couple weeks with Kansas City, so he got a paycheck from the Royals. I got a paycheck all those years from the Royals. My wife used to make breakfast burritos in spring training for the big league team, and she got a check from the Royals. And my daughter,
Your
Dina,
daughter,
worked
I
for the
knew
Royals.
Dina,
All
yeah.
5 of our family's members got checks from the Royals through the years.
So you got the last laugh. The whole Wathan family got the last laugh. Who was when you were managing? Who was the player that you thought, oh man, this guy's going to be? Did you have a couple of players that when you were managing you thought, man, we got something here. We have the next.
Our guys, you mean?
So, yeah.
For our guys?
For your guys.
Well, obviously Brett. I mean,
George.
of course. I played in the minor leagues with. 10 years in the big leagues, then managed him. And by the way, that was pretty easy to put his name down third every single day. And just fill in around him. Yeah.
Work around it. You did. You had some great
Frank was
players.
a great player. Obviously, Bo, had he been healthy, probably would have had a chance to be in the Hall
You
of
ever see a
Fame.
guy like that? I mean,
He was something. I mean, just the way he was built and how strong he was, the way he could run. Nobody should be able to run that fast at that size.
Yeah.
But he was a phenomenon. Obviously, Dennis Leonard was
my
one
all-time favorite pitcher.
Had he not been hurt, he probably would have done more. Busby would have been.
What were we just talking? Billy and I were just talking about those two.
A couple of
guys.
no-hitters. Had they been healthy their whole career.
Yeah.
Frank obviously was a great player for a long, long time with the Royals. There's a ton of them. That played for the Royals, and there's a lot of part-time guys that were great players as well.
You went into scouting and then player development. So what about the next crop of guys? Did you guys that before they got to the big leagues that you thought you may have said
Mike McFarland I had in Omaha,
yeah.
And I knew he was going to be a good player for a long time. He ended up playing 10 or 12 years in the big leagues, with Kansas City and Oakland and Boston, and what a great guy too. I still remember when I told him that's what was fun about managing in Omaha, getting to tell guys that they were going to go to Kansas City for the first time.
Oh, I bet. Yeah.
He hugged me like he was crying and hugged me and said, "Oh, Duke, I can't believe this. I mean, unbelievable." I said, "You earned it." And then the unfortunate part, once I get to Kansas City, I got to send them back to Omaha, which I did to Bill Pacoda about 3 or 4 times. Both ways. He was called I-29.
Yeah.
So that part wasn't fun, sending a guy back. But I actually told Pacoda one time, I said, I'm tired of going to get you or sending the coach to get you every time I got to send you back. Why don't you put your locker in here with me? He didn't feel comfortable doing that, so we didn't do that.
So let's go to you now. Who called you when you got the Hall of Fame news?
I was in Omaha. Oh, the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
I was thinking of my first call-up. Like
we can do both of those.
Yeah, first call-up, I was in the bullpen. I didn't catch that day. I didn't know why because I was catching most of the time then.
Yeah.
And, we go in afterwards, and Billy Gardner, who was the manager, calls me in and says, Duke, you're going to Omaha. Or you're going to Kansas City from Omaha. I said, what? I was hitting like 180. What had happened is, I think it was Buck Martinez slid into second base and spiked himself with a hook slide, spiked himself in the hand. And so I'd hit 300 the year before, made the All-Star team, had a great spring, and Whitey Herzog was talking about, you're going to come up soon, we're going to trade a catcher. They traded Fran Healy for Larry Gura, and I just still didn't come up. So I'm thinking my stuff isn't too bad, even though I'm hitting 180. Hey, I was told I'm going to the big leagues. So I kind of had my head up my rear end and wasn't doing what I should be doing. So I've told this story to a lot of guys who get upset because they have to go back to Omaha. I said, don't be like me, because you never know when the time's going to come. So the time came, and I was not doing well. But I got 5 hits in my first 10 at-bats when I got to Kansas City and stayed 10 years. So you got to be ready for that opportunity when it happens. Yeah. The real funny part about that is, Omaha's so close to Kansas City, and they're listening on the radio. The wives are listening on the radio. I get up and I'm all excited to tell Nancy that I'm going to Kansas City. She said, I know. all the wives knew.
She burst your bubble.
Yeah.
Oh,
but anyway, the other one was about
the Hall of Fame.
Hall of Fame.
Call for that. Who was that?
My daughter Dina.
Yeah.
She's tricked me. She got me on a Zoom call with Emily Penning, who is the secretary for the general manager, J.J. Piccolo. He was with Dayton as well. Yeah. She was with him. And so they get me on a Zoom call. They want to ask me about a golf tournament in spring training. I used to run our golf tournament in spring training. I said, that thing runs itself. And you got Chino Kadahia, who knows how to run a golf tournament. You got all kinds of people. I don't get it. So she's on a Zoom call. All of a sudden, boom, about 10 more people pop up on it. It's J.J. Piccolo and Scott Sharp, assistant GM, and Kurt Nelson is there from the Hall of Fame. My son Dusty's on there from back east where he lives. Bunch of other people I can't even remember right now. And J.J. says, Duke, we tricked you a little bit here, but we want to tell you that on behalf of the Royals, we want to invite you into the Hall of Fame. And you're going to be inducted this year. And I said, oh, my God, I can't believe it. I said the same thing. I said, I thought I'd be dead before this happened.
It's like, or you could tell them, what took you so damn long?
Oh, God, I kind of said that. and I asked when we would do it, and they said, well, we got a couple of dates in September and late August. We want to try to get it done. And I said, well, what about when the Phillies come to town so my son can be there?
Oh,
and so we're going to do it July 5th when the Phillies are in town.
Great.
It's a Sunday day game, and they have that weird schedule. Friday night's a soccer game. Well, the World Cup is, soccer.
Yeah, right.
So they have Friday off, which is unusual to ever have a Friday off.
When does that ever happen?
So they're going to play Saturday night, Sunday afternoon, and Monday afternoon series.
So July 5th, Sunday afternoon game.
Yeah.
We're going, right?
We're going.
Oh,
absolutely.
We'll be there.
I don't even know if they've announced that yet, so you got to
Well,
scoop.
I hadn't seen it.
You got to scoop.
There we go, July 5th.
Scoop Althouse.
You finally got your first scoop. Oh, that's great.
John, looking back over the years, and it was interesting when you pointed out, because I've talked to a lot of people about this, that 1985 team wasn't the best Royals team. The 70, 77, and 78, just unbelievable. But George gets hurt. Greg Pryor steps in, takes care of things. Quiz, Fireman of the Year. I mean, my favorite quote from Quiz was, they call my fastball Peggy Lee because is that all there is? Yeah. Quiz was the best. The pitching, and then the World Series that Sabes had.
Yeah.
It was just one of those fairy tales that really came true.
Yeah.
Actually, stop and think about it.
I was at the end of my career,
right?
And I kind of knew it, even though I had a couple of years left of my contract, because I didn't get the big leagues until I was almost 27, so I was 35 or 6 then, and I gradually had stopped running as much and stopped. I just knew it was about over. So I was lucky I was on that team. But I played 2 or 3 weeks in a row for Sundberg. Sundberg was hurt as well. You mentioned hurt. Yeah. And I held my own. I did okay that for a couple, 3 weeks. And didn't play in the World Series, but won at bat. Pinch hit for Bud Black against John Tudor and struck out. I told Blackie, I said, you could have done that.
Let's talk about that 82 season.
82, the solo base thing. Yeah. That was pretty cool too, because I had stolen 17 bases, I think, in 1980. Jim Fry was the manager. Yeah. But I had to wait for the go sign. I had to wait for the green light. I didn't have a green light. I had to wait for the sign to steal. So I was like 17 out of 20 or 21. I actually thought that was almost better than the 36 I got in 82 because Hauser put me on my own. I could run when I wanted to.
So you didn't have to wait for the green light.
And it was harder when you had to wait for a sign because I knew when I needed to run or could run. I knew what the pitcher was going to do. I knew how slow he was to the plate or how fast he was to the plate. So I kind of could pick my spots. It made it easier. But anyway, the funny thing about that, going back even further, when I was in the minor leagues, I think the most stolen base I ever had in 5.5 years in the minors was 8.
Oh, really?
I played for Billy Gardner. God rest his soul.
Yeah.
He just died last year at 94.5. But he didn't believe in stealing bases. He didn't believe in bunting a lot or hitting and running. He always
Kind of sounds like today's baseball.
called the game plain vanilla.
Yeah.
So he never really had anybody steal a lot except Willie Wilson.
Yeah.
Of course, he didn't know that I could do that. So it was kind of nice to finally steal a few in the big leagues and be able to get that green light. The funny thing about 82, it was the year Dina was born, 82, in February that year. I stole 25, I think, up to June, middle of June, and I was on pace for probably 40-some, or 50 maybe. And I broke my foot. I fouled the ball off my ankle and was in a cast for a month. So I still got 36. After I came back, I got another 11. The funny part about the whole thing was when I broke my foot hitting a ball off my ankle, everybody on the team said, "We didn't know you could hit a ball that hard, Duke."
No.
To break a bone.
Show you. I'm going to steal 12 more.
So it was fun. And all the catchers around the league, that I'd
that's
see.
funny.
No interleague play, so I'm just seeing American League catchers. They all came up to me, "Way to go, man!" And, because they're always called the slumbering catcher.
Oh, yeah.
Lumbering catcher, and they can't run and can't do this, can't do that. They're slow,
But you had a good year that year, too. I mean, it wasn't a stolen base. You hit over 300 that year.
Not in 82. 300. I hit over 300 a couple years.
80?
80 was
80,
yeah.
305.
305, yeah. And you had some home runs, too. I mean, that was
A
a good
couple.
year. What,
Everybody
15, 20?
asked me how many home runs I hit in the big leagues. I said, but I'll say
Get
I
back
got a lot
to
of
you.
stolen bases.
No, that was
Well, that record still stands.
Yeah.
that's
From
just,
1901.
What would that be? 44 years.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. But counting records from 1901, which they consider modern day baseball,
that
nobody's broken it.
Ray Schock, who had the records in the Hall of Fame.
Right.
He caught 2 or 3 no-hitters, I think. I think he did it in 1911, maybe,
He did.
something like that.
He did.
So it was pretty special to be able to do that. And, it could be, records are to be broken, and I'm sure it might happen if the game changes again back to some speed guys and guys want to steal bases.
I don't know
That's
about
pretty
that
cool.
record. They
I
always
hope
talk
it-
about the
I actually hope it does.
unbreakable records.
I actually hope it does.
Do you have the base?
Yes, I do. It's a bar stool. In fact, Kurt Nelson from the Royals Hall of Fame, he's going to make a little display out there in the Hall of Fame, I think, with some of my memorabilia stuff.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, one of the few guys with George and Denny Matthews and Art Stewart before he passed away that has all 4 rings.
Yes.
The two World Series rings and 2 American League Championship
Yes.
rings. Right. So we're going to put those in there, all 4 of them. And I've got remember the old satin jackets? I've got one of those still. Put that in there. I've got a couple of gloves that I wore in the outfield and catching to put in there. So we'll see see what else I can find.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
That's too good.
Gonna be a fun day. I have a lot of friends coming
July
in from
5th.
California where I grew up, and they're gonna fly in Dusty's whole family from Charlotte where they live, and like I say, he's gonna be there, which is really cool.
And you've stayed in Kansas City. I mean, a lot
We have.
of guys have.
We originally I was born in Iowa originally and moved to San Diego when I was 2. My mom and dad separated and grew up in San Diego, but for lack of a job, my first year in the minor leagues in '71, I ended up in Waterloo, Iowa, which was a Royals farm club, and my dad would come to some of the games being in Cedar Rapids. He had a flying service and said, "Do you want to work for me in the off season? Do you have a job?" I said, "Heck no, I don't have a job. We're making $500 a month for 5 months, and I got a wife, and I needed to work, so I stayed in Cedar Rapids all through the 70s, gassing airplanes, learned how to fly, and moved to Kansas City in '81 and have never left."
That's great.
Yeah.
Tell Tony who some of the famous folks your dad flew around.
John Kennedy he met a few times. He didn't fly him. Robert Kennedy, Gene Autry, Roy Rogers.
Oh, my.
Some of those guys, yeah. It was pretty cool. And Gene Autry ended up being my boss with the Angels.
Oh, with
That's
the
right.
Angels.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. We're going in after a spring training game out in Tempe. We're going to back to the hotel, and we're walking up the stairs together, Gene Autry and me. Well, he's about 5'7". He wore the big boots that made him like 5'9" or 10.
I always thought he was
a little
this
tiny
big,
guy.
Yeah. Big,
So we're going up these stairs. He knew I was with the team, but he didn't know my name or anything. He was probably 90 something at that time. And he says, "Young man, which way to the bar?" Mr. Autry, I said, "I'll be glad to show you." And I took my hand, I took him up the stairs, went to the bar. He said, "You know, it's a dusty trail out there today. I need a drink."
Dusty trail out there today.
Gene Autry, the singing cowboy.
The singing cowboy.
Yeah.
That's a great story. That's a great story. Yeah. So let's talk about if you could, if what you can share on the podcast. But there's no rules here. There's no FCC here to stop us. What was it? I know the Pine Tar deal had to be insane because you were right there. Mm-hmm. But some other stories or a story that comes to mind is like, God, you never believe this one.
Well, the Pine Tar game was when I was sitting right next to
you
George.
Were right next to him, yeah.
So with the curly afro on, and so you see the guy doing this right next to George. That was me. Everybody says, "Well, he really got pissed off. He got excited. He got pissed, mad, angry, irate." I said, "Well, it might be because just before Tim McClellan came over with the bat and his thumb and said, 'You're out,' he said to me, 'Duke, what the are they doing?' I said, 'They're going to call you out. Your pine tar is too high, 17 inches.'
What did he say?
He said, 'No effing way.' So I kind of set him up for that explosion.
Oh, my God.
And then I played first base to start the game, went to left field, then went back to first base to end the game, and I caught the last out.
Yes.
So you'd think I'd be smart enough to still have the ball?
Yeah.
Never. Needless did I know that would be such an important game in Royals history, and everybody makes such a big deal out of it. So there was a guy named Barry Halper that was a part owner for the Yankees, had unbelievable collection of everything, old Babe Ruth uniforms. He had one of those things they have in laundromat with a thing that moves like this with all the shirts on it, of just all jerseys.
Yeah. Wow.
And so he invited me and Leon Roberts and George over for lunch one day. He lived in New Jersey. We were in New York playing the Yankees, and I said, "That was awful nice of you to do this. I'd like for you to have that ball, you know." So he had it somewhere. So probably sold for a lot of money, I'm sure.
Yes.
You know?
Yes. I remember the photo of you with Babe's bat and wearing one of Babe's.
Yeah, that was it. That was at his house.
Yeah.
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 You did get to beat the Phillies on TV.
We beat them in the Family Feud.
Remember
which
that?
That was much more important than the World Series.
And you killed it.
I kicked their butt.
You killed it.
And the Kansas City Royals, Dan Quisenberry, Willie Wilson, Paul Splittor, John Wathan, and Dennis Leonard. On your mark.
Play any position and can hold his beer.
Yeah, you got to get 200 points with the two guys on the lightning round at the end. I got the 200 by myself.
Right next to
No,
Still
Leonard's in the wings over there. I said, "Don't need you, Dennis.
There. That's
Don't need
good.
You. Yeah, don't need you."
That may have never been done.
Of course,
ever.
they really toned down the questions a lot for dumb baseball players. I'm sure.
My favorite, though, the Gong Show.
The Gong Show. Yeah, that was pretty cool. We had a deal in the clubhouse after the Gong Show. Whenever somebody would slip up and do something really stupid on the field, if we won the game, everybody'd crowd around your locker. We had a big gong with that hammer. Gong! So I won it once or twice. I remember one time I slipped going around third and fell on my butt. And on the way in, it's only when we won a game that we did it. We didn't do it when we lost.
Yeah.
So I won it a time or two, and it was something to keep us loose. And I can't remember what year that was. Do you have any idea, Bill?
Gosh, mid-'70s.
Mid-'70s
when it was
probably.
on. Yeah. Did you meet Chuck Barris?
No, never did.
Yeah. Gene the dancing machine. I mean, oh man.
Richard Dawson, funny story. He's gone now, so I can tell his story. We go in there. We take 5 shows in one night, and like they do a lot for those quiz shows. And after each show, we'd have a little break and we'd go back and get a beer and wine. So by the fifth game, we were probably all hammered. But Richard Dawson never said hello to us before the 5 tapings, during the 5 tapings, or after the 5 tapings. Never said, thanks for coming, appreciate you guys, what you did on the air. You guys did a great job. Nothing.
Wow.
So it tells you a little bit about Hollywood and people.
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy. And and he was always kissing the women and all that stuff all the time.
He's probably upset. It was all guys.
Oh, that's
True. That's very
that
true.
Could have been it. That could have been it. So July 5th is the big day.
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
This has really been great having you on here with us. I mean, I'm reliving, all those years just sitting here with you because I cried like a damn baby at the end of '76, '7, and '8, and '80 at the end of the World Series. But it was still some redemption there. But those were, in my opinion, those really were the glory years, weren't they, Bill? I mean, just
absolutely.
It was just that franchise was.
Well, and I think that helped me play 10 years because, normally a lot of people, not as much back then. There weren't as many guys going for agency. That was kind of at its infancy.
Yeah.
So guys weren't really testing the market a whole lot. They wanted to stay. And I kept thinking, well, you know what? If I can do a part-time job and we keep winning, they're not going to want to get rid of me. So I lasted 10 years during the really good times.
That's right.
Who knows? I could have been traded or something. But they were a little reluctant probably to make changes when everything was going so good. So it was basically the same guys for most of the time.
Well, we can't wrap this up until
I'm glad you remembered.
the Duke.
What's that?
The Duke.
Well, listen tight, Pilgrim. We're going over the hill at 0430 with bayonets drawn. Yo. It's a lot better when I've had a couple beers.
Oh, I know.
Or everybody else had a couple beers, so have some beers.
There you go.
Well,
Absolutely.
after July, we'll bring you back because you'll deserve a few more beers at that point. Royals Hall of Famer. That sounds good.
That sounds really good.
Sounds good. Let's do it again, Bill.
Yes. Royals Hall of Famer. And my oldest son's godfather.
Oh, wow. That's right. Bill told
Duke
me that right.
was
okay, so
my guy.
he's the Duke. He's the Godfather. He's a Royal Hall of Famer. John Wathan. God bless you, man.
Thanks for having me, Tony.
You betcha.
Thanks,
you
Billy.
betcha.
All right, buddy. Great seeing you.
Yo.
There's a Hall of Famer for you right there.
Hall of Fame individual.
It's wonderful.
Back when I worked at KQTV, Channel 2 in St. Joe, I would come down on weekends. And I came down, talked to John, came back the next weekend, go in the locker room. Hey, Bill, how's everything in St. Joe? Oh, I thought I was big-time stuff.
It's going to be a big day at Kauffman Stadium
Oh,
once we get the date.
Yes.
We will certainly remind everybody to go see that. John Wathan was great. Okay, so we'll be back live from the Sandy's Restaurant Studios. Again, thank you to Bobby Hines. If you get hungry and you really say, God, what do I want? Well, you definitely come to Sandy's. Breakfast, lunch, dinner. They're on 7 Highway in Blue Springs if you're in the Kansas City area. If you're coming to Kansas City, like for the World Cup or
Sure.
vacation or anything, make sure you stop by Sandy's Restaurant. Reminder again, you can watch our full podcast episodes. They're on YouTube, they're on Spotify, they're on Patreon. You can hook up with us on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, and we'll be back with another episode of Bill and Tony's Excellent Adventure. That's Bill Althouse. I'm Tony Stevens. See ya.
See ya.